as we end as we near the end of 2021, a question I see popping up a lot is, has the Pokemon bubble finally popped? And, I've been digging around a lot. I've been giving it a lot of thoughts. And it's kind of a yes and no answer. To where in some markets, yeah, it looks like the bubble's finally popped. That the Pokemon Company has self-corrected on a lot of this secondary market stuff, especially if you're looking at the last few sets. Because an important thing to remember here is that the Pokemon Company doesn't gain anything from that secondary market. So, when a Charizard sells for $5,000, they don't get any of that. They really just got the profit they made from selling the pack that the Charizard came out of. And so they've been doing tons of reprints and restocks of some of these sets that were basically bought off the shelves, like Evolving Skies, Chilling Reign, Battle Styles, Vivid Voltage. All of these sets have had Wave 2 and an upcoming Wave 3 of restocks, where Pokemon Company's basically gone like, oh, if demand's that high to where people are paying this much markup for individual cards, then they're gonna pay for the sealed products too. And so they're basically just putting them back on the shelves. I will say here lately, I've not seen as much of, the older sets like Vivid Voltage, but I have seen a lot of Battle Styles and Chilling Reign product on the shelves. Most of the LGSs around me still have the Elite Trainer boxes from Fusion Strike just out in the open. Even Barnes & Nobles that I frequent, they always have Pokemon stuff. I'm not sure if people just don't know that they stock it, but the Pikachu premium collections from Celebrations, they had like 8 or 9 of those just sitting on the shelf while there were tons of Christmas shoppers in the store. Actually, I'm looking on the Pokemon Center English site right now, and you can buy full booster boxes of Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies off of there still. Tons of products. You can buy individual packs of Chilling Reign, Battle Styles, Evolving Skies, and Fusion Strike. So, the Pokemon Company is supplying the product now, which means people don't have to show up at 5 a.m. at stores or LGSs to actually get their hands on some of this product. It's more readily available, and that has been reflected in the singles market. So if you go to TCG Player or Troll and Toad, even on eBay, you're going to see major price drops in a lot of these single cards. Pretty much the only singles that haven't seen a huge drop are the hyper competitive cards. And I think Celebrations has been the best indicator of this, where the Pokemon Company knew ahead of time this was going to be a popular product. It was going to sell out no matter what on the first wave, which is why they basically sent out a ton. And even for cards, I've been keeping my eye on Shiny Magikarp. That was one of my huge chase cards for that set. At release, this was a card that was going for maybe about $164, I think it was. It's kind of ridiculous. But then people started to catch on that a lot of people were picking up Celebrations product, and a lot of people were opening them, which meant that the singles market had a ton of supply all of a sudden. So now that Shiny Magikarp card is down to maybe $30 or $40 for a near mint. I'm still trying to wait it out and see how far these prices will actually plunge, because Celebration singles have gone way, way down. Even the most expensive cards out of the set, like that base Charizard reprint, has come down from like $300 to something like $80 or $90. I saw on one side it didn't last long up at that price, but they are falling rapidly. The only places that I haven't seen major price drops are, like I said, in cards that hold competitive viability, because that's going to keep a pretty high demand going for those cards for as long as they are in standard rotation. But also full art trainers, which are the big collector cards now. And because the demand is so high on these, especially the waifu cards like Misty's Favor, Lily, Cynthia, the card. Anything that's got a pretty cartoon lady on it is going to go for a higher price. And a lot of speculators basically buy up these cards as quickly as possible off of the singles market so they can hold on to them for a while, mark them up, and put them back onto the market, which is what's been happening with the full art trainers. The price seems to keep going up and up and up, and hopefully that sees a change too, much like the rest of the singles market has, where people just get fed up with that and don't buy, and then eventually the prices start to drop again. Because one of my gripes for the past 2 years has been that within this bubble, this huge Pokemon boom that has been fueled by many different sources, be it, you know, pseudo-celebrity YouTubers opening packs on their channels, just the, you know, economic state that the world tends to be in, where people flock to tangible items, especially ones they feel like they can invest in and hold on to for years and years and years and get a return, which unfortunately was never going to happen with a lot of this product. You know, like Vivid Voltage VMAX Pikachu was not going to hold value like a lot of people suspected it would. You know, they were going off of these vintage Pokemon prices, where these are cards that people played with as kids and have this huge nostalgia behind that they're not going to have for all Charizard and Pikachu cards. And part of my continuous griping was that I'm trying to do videos on the e-reader sets, but I don't actually have full sets of those releases. And so I've been scouring the web trying to get, you know, these key supporter cards like Desert Shaman, but the prices of even those had skyrocketed because people just went, okay, well, I'm going to buy up cards from every set and then hold on to it because everything's going to hold its value. And they found that not really to be true. They bought up these cards, tried to mark them up and resell them, and it just wasn't working. The e-reader sets especially aren't super popular. They were never really heavily involved in any iconic gameplay. And so I'm happy to report that those prices have gone down. Desert Shaman has gone from being like a $64, $65 card down to about $17 or $18 for a near mint copy. So I have been able to pick up quite a few e-reader cards here lately that you'll see in upcoming videos once I make my way around to those rotations. And Celebrations has actually worked wonders in this market. You can now buy a Cleffa for $1.50. And that's just the new norm because there's so many Cleffa on the market now. Same for Rocket Zapdos, which was, you know, a pretty expensive card for, you know, playing in that format, which has shown drastic drops. You can pick those up pretty easily now. But the reason I say that this bubble question is both a yes and a no is because of this weird thing that has happened with the vintage market and the graded market. So as we're seeing these singles prices start to go down, one of the reasons for that is because people are buying and have been buying for the past 2 years so much sealed product from all across the TCG. And this has been the same kind of across collectibles too, be it comics, MTG, Yu-Gi-Oh! People are just buying up sealed product because it makes great content, and people have just been gobbling up content to live vicariously through these people that can buy up all this product and get really excited about opening it. So on one hand, the market has been flooded with tons and tons of opened products. So you have even more single cards, even from vintage sets, that weren't there before because they've been sitting in sealed products. So on one side, the price of sealed products has continued to skyrocket because the demand is huge. People want to create content, and the more content people create by opening this stuff, the less product there is out there in the world, a smaller supply. And so while the prices on the sealed stuff has been going up, that's very unfortunate for sealed collectors. For singles collectors that are trying to complete sets, this has been very good news because now those cards are becoming cheaper and cheaper because the market has been flooded. And the same is kind of true on the graded side of things. So if you are a slab collector, meaning that you collect cards that have been graded by PSA, Beckett's, CGC, any of these grading companies that have been completely overwhelmed for the past couple of years, then this is also pretty good news for you, because this means people have been sending loads and loads and loads of cards to these grading companies thinking that they're going to get some huge investment returns. You know, they're thinking, well, I opened up this pack all of these cards are fresh. I'm going to send them to PSA and get back a ton of 9s or gem mint 10s. And what's happening is people realize that just because the cards are fresh out of a pack and that they used gloves to open them, that doesn't really ensure a high grade. And so people are getting back all of these graded cards now from PSA and Beckett's and CGC that are graded like anywhere from a 5 to a 7, and very rarely are they getting a 9 or a 10. And so now if you look on eBay, there are tons and tons of cheap slabbed cards back on the market because they're graded like a 7 or an 8. And you know, the big time collectors are looking for more like a 9 or a gem mint 10. But if you're like me and you just like having the slabbed card kind of protected in this neat little case, then this is really good news, because now you can get all of these cards that are graded like a 7 or an 8. It's still pretty good condition for very cheap prices, because, you know, to these people that have been sending in all of these cards thinking they were getting back these huge investments, they're actually just getting back a lot of cardboard and plastic, which the big time collectors that strictly look for gem mint cards are not going to want. There's not a very big market out there for slabbed cards that are graded under a 9, at least in Pokemon. Now, it's not back where it used to be. I mean, back in like 2018, I was buying gem mint common cards for 20 bucks each, no problem. Like, buy it now on eBay. It's still not back to those levels. I suspect that it will be, though, as a lot of these grading companies catch up with demand, because they've been backlogged here for the past 5 or 6 months. PSA and CGC have basically stopped all incoming products because they said they can't keep up with that demand. They can't grade things fast enough. But as they do catch up, as the market gets flooded with all of these lower graded cards that people sent in because they thought they were automatically just going to get 10s across the board because they came out of a fresh pack, not really knowing how the grading system worked, you're going to see all these hit eBay. You're going to see all these hit your LGS. And they're going to be cheap, because that's the only way they're going to be able to sell them. People aren't going to be shelling out $50 for a grade 7 Bulbasaur anymore. Now, I feel like that time has passed. This Pokemon boom does feel like it's dying down a lot. And it's all because of this speculators market. Very few products have been able to keep up with the speculators market. Pokemon has done a really good job of it for a really long time, but you know, if you look from 1998 up till now, those prices have a lot of fluctuation, and you really have to pick and choose your products and really know what you're doing to make a good investment on a sealed product, or even with singles or products in general. You know, what I've discovered here lately is that the Pokemon Company will reprint anything that sells out. They will flood the market without any hesitation, just because that's where their money's made. They don't care about the secondary market. The only exceptions really being anything that has the word premium in it. So when you see a product that is a premium collection, or like the Marnie premium set, I don't think those things are ever going to get reprinted. And so those are worth seeking out. In my opinion, those are about the only like good investments you can make. Because the rest of the stuff is going to stick around on the market and get reprinted, and it's not exactly an investment. So to close out here, in my opinion, yes, I do think the bubble has burst for the most part. Some things just won't go back to normal, like your sealed products, because as those are opened, your supply dwindles down, and so of course the price is going to keep going up as long as demand stays the same. But what's most important to me, at least, is that the people that have been collecting and playing for a long time, or the people that just enjoy Pokemon for Pokemon, can finally get back to doing that. You know, we can search out single cards for a reasonable price. We can find products on the shelves that we want to enjoy for ourselves pretty easily, or at least more easily than it would have been a year ago when we were kind of in the middle of this huge bubble Pokemon boom thing. Unfortunately, there are some side effects of that other than sealed product. You know, like the demand of these full art trainers are unfortunately probably going to stay pretty high. I follow a guy called Danny Phantump on YouTube. I highly recommend his channel. I'll link it down in the description, but he actually runs a Pokemon card business. And so he keeps up with all of the sales number, all of the figures. He's kind of in tune with the distribution of all these individual sets. And so he has a pretty good mind for where all this is going. And he recently did a video on these full art trainers showing that while the prices on some are dropping, most of them are increasing because of this collector's market. Basically, the waifu tax for pretty cartoon girls on cardboard, like you see with Charizard and Pikachu and Mewtwo and Mew. These are all cards that are always going to have a higher demand and are going to hold value better than other cards. And so in those rare cases, you know, you're never really going to get out of this bubble. But for the most part, I really think we're getting there. I'm going to be continuing to buy up the types of graded cards and the types of single cards I need for this channel for continuous deck building, and hopefully I can get a lot of that done before the next craze hits, whenever that may be, because you know, Pokemon's been sticking around for 25 years now, and it doesn't seem like it's really going anywhere anytime soon. It's basically one of the mainstays of gaming communities now. I never thought Yu-Gi-Oh! Would still be going at this point. And then, you know, there's new card games popping up all the time. Getting on a bit of a tangent here, so I'm going to wrap it up. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think that we are on the other side of this Pokemon bubble boom craze now? And let me know what changes have been most noteworthy for you. Thank you for watching, and keep looking forward to new content on the channel. I'm workshopping a lot of decks right now that I hope to get out, if not at the end of the year, then very early in 2022. Let's make it a good 2022. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to end this video now. Maybe go watch another video. Like and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff. Bye.